Irene Cara was born in March 1959 in the Bronx, New York. While still in grade school, she took dance and singing lessons. While in school, she made several TV appearances and eventually was made a regular on a kids show called The Electric Company, along with Morgan Freeman and Bill Cosby. Around 1980, she signed a management deal with Al Curry, who happened to be an executive with Capitol Records, and founded RSO Records. He contributed to the success of such artists such as the Beatles, the Bee Gees, and Cher. By 1980, he started Network Records, which focused mostly on distributing soundtracks for motion pictures. Irene was one of the artists signed to Network Records during its early stages. In 1979, auditions were done for a movie called Fame. The film, directed by Alan Parker, followed a group of students through the 4 years of a performing arts school. Cara auditioned for the part of Coco, which was initially just a small role. However, she was so impressive at her audition that the producers rewrote the script to give her a bigger role. The movie was shot in less than 3 months and was released in May of 1980. The film, which was made on a budget of $7 million, grossed over $40 million, which was considered a smash at the time. It also received critical success, being nominated for several awards, and much of that acclaim was attributed to Cara's involvement. Recognition for Fame's success was expressed at the Academy Awards the following year. The film was nominated for Best Original Score and Best Original Song. Fame was the first motion picture to get 2 nominations in the same category. This became one of Cara's first career highlights, performing 2 songs at the Oscars, which had never been done before. The movie overall won an Oscar for Best Original Song, Fame, and aside from that, also won a Golden Globe and Grammy in the same category. By the time the dust had settled, Cara was a national figure and on her way to becoming a superstar. The film Fame was so successful that a television version was developed a year later. Several of the actors were offered to reprise the role for the television version, including Cara. However, she turned it down to focus on her recording career. Coco was eventually given to actress Erica Gimple. Cara released her first studio album, Anyone Can See, in 1982 under Network Records. It met with mild success, peaking at 76 on the U.S. charts and 39 on the R&B charts. During that time, she continued to act as well. She shot a pilot for her own TV series on NBC called Irene, which co-starred Keenan Ivory Wayans. The show wasn't picked up, but eventually she got another opportunity to jump back into doing film again. In early 1983, the movie Flashdance was in final production. The climax of the film was a vital scene where the lead character, an aspiring ballerina, auditions for a dance company. The producers contacted Cara, who agreed to participate only if she could help write the song for that scene. She, along with Giorgio Moroder, wrote and composed the song Flashdance What a Feeling. With Cara singing lead, they finished the song in about 4 hours. The movie soundtrack was released again on Network Records. The film, like Fame, was shot in less than 90 days on a budget of $7 million. It was released to the public on April 15, 1983, and grossed over $200 million at the box office. However, the highlight for Irene was the award recognition. At the 1984 Academy Awards, the song What a Feeling, for which Cara wrote and performed, won an Oscar for Best Original Song. Again on this night, Cara made Oscar history, being the first minority to win an Oscar award in a non-acting category. Aside from that, Cara won more glory, winning a Golden Globe, Grammy, and an American Music Award. A short time later, she would marry director Conrad Polisamo. At this point, Cara was in her mid-20s and at the prime of her career. Unfortunately, her life and career would take a major downturn. Around 1995, Cara had issues with her record label Network Records and decided to sue them. She claimed since she signed with the record label, she never received any royalties whatsoever. Al Corey, president of Network Records, was already having problems. They were having major financial problems due to distribution issues and initially had to partnership with Geffen Records. That did very little. By the mid-80s, they were hardly releasing any new albums at all. Irene's situation was not just a problem, it was chaotic. It was rumored at one point that her situation with Al Corey became so contentious that he threatened to destroy her career. Based on some of the things that he did, he wasn't kidding. In a television interview, Cara stated, "They weren't paying me. You have the biggest album in the world and you're still not getting paid. They felt like they were entitled to steal from me and I had to let them know they were not. It was a major fight. It was ugly. It was horrifying having to go through this as a young woman." Initially, Cara did what every other artist would do when they're having problems with their record label and not sign with another one. At this stage in 1985, during the early stages of the lawsuit, she was at the peak of her career. At this point, she won every major award that artists would love to receive. She also had much appeal while still in her 20s. However, at this point, she virtually disappeared. Some things that happened to her were in her control, and some she didn't have any control over. One of the first things her record company did was send out letters to other record companies informing them of what was going on and threatening legal action if they signed her to a contract. This scared away a lot of potential record companies. To make things worse, they also filed an injunction preventing her from singing any songs that made her famous. This was somewhat mild compared to what was being done to her image. It was well known among industry insiders that Cara had a coke habit. According to Cara, she got it from music executives who should have known better. In an interview, Cara stated, "It was blown out of proportion. I never had to go to a rehab program." Cara says she got over the issue with the help of her family. But again, that was just another issue that was damaging her credibility. Eventually, she developed a reputation and image for being a diva and difficult to work with. To make matters worse, bad circumstances and bad business decisions started to hurt her box office appeal. Around 1985, Irene did a movie with actress Tatum O'Neal called Certain Fury. The producers thought it would be a good idea to team two Oscar winners to create a box office hit. Instead, it did the exact opposite. It hardly made any money and was considered by critics as one of the worst films of the year. A year later, she did another film called Busted Up. The plot of the film involved a Canadian boxer who, after being out on his own, tried to win back his daughter, his girlfriend, played by Cara, and the neighborhood where he lived by winning a boxing match. This movie bombed at the box office as well. What's relevant here is that this streak of bad films destroyed Irene Cara's credibility as a box office draw. By the late 80s, right before her 30th birthday, Cara was blacklisted from the entertainment industry and a total afterthought. Also, the financial cost of her court case against Network Records was taking its toll. Unfortunately, in 1991, Cara suffered another major setback. After about 6 years of marriage, she divorced from her husband. By this time, she had been out of the spotlight for a while, but after waiting about 10 years, her case finally went to court. After some deliberating, she won her court case. The jury awarded her $1.5 million, plus she was awarded future royalties and some of her masters. She stated after the settlement, she really no longer needs to work. She did have some minor roles, but nothing as big as what she did in the early 80s. After the court case, it was rumored that Cara moved to Europe. In 2001, her career hit a slight resurgence. A recording artist by the name of DJ Bobo decided to do a remake of her song Flashdance, Oh What a Feeling. The song featured him singing and rapping while Cara mostly sang the chorus. The song reached the top of the charts in the UK. Soon after her success internationally, Cara made her way back to the US. Recently, Cara moved to Florida and started an all-girl band called Hot Caramel. She made several TV appearances with the group, such as Hit Me Baby One More Time, and also releasing a double album. She now sells all of her music online. Overall, it's extremely unfortunate both to her and her fans that she had to sacrifice her career due to taking legal action against network records. Despite her success, she was still in her 20s when she disappeared from the public eye around 1988. This was right when club music really started to take off. Considering what she did when she did a remake of Oh What a Feeling, it's amazing what she could have done if she had matched up with the right producers. But I guess that's just one case that we'll never know.